about ingestible sensors. And before I start, I want to let you pass around this sensor and to have a physical feeling of that. So you can do anything, but just don't eat that.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, when you see this topic, you might have some questions like what are ingestible sensors and why we want to play with that, and what experience can we design while we use the localized stimuli. So let's first watch a video, and it might help you answer some of your questions.
This is HeatCraft, a two-player system that translates the user's inner body temperature to a heat sensation. The player's body temperature is measured by an ingestible sensor as it travels through the digestive tract within 24 to 36 hours. The heat sensation is delivered by the heating pads in a waist belt worn by the players. Players can eat hot food, drink cold drinks, meditate, or exercise, and experience the effect of these activities on their body temperature as heat directly on their body rather than through a display. The subtle and always available heat makes players aware of their body temperature even when they are not consciously interacting with the system. This research could aid designers in creating exciting new play interactions with the active human body, and it could also be useful to improve the patient experience of treatments with ingestible sensors by making it playful. Ultimately, this work steps towards a humanized technology future where we experience our body as play. A study with 16 participants revealed that HeatCraft could facilitate an integration of body and technology, an integration of the internal body and the outside world, and an integration of play and life.
I can feel like a cyborg, I guess, with a new skill. It's sort of like the start of a whole new game world, I think.
This is a great way to get to know your body. The play is integrated into my life. When I was with my co-player, I was focusing more on the differences of our heat. But then when I was alone, I'm thinking more about my internal body and how things are flowing through my body.
With HeatCraft, we step towards a better understanding of how to design playful experiences with ingestible sensors. This stands for a future in which new game design technology would allow us to playfully explore our bodies in order to better understand our interactions with our own bodies.
Okay, so this is HeatCraft, a system around ingestible sensors. So ingestible sensors are devices that can perform sensing or actuating functions inside the human body. But most of the research around ingestible sensors only focus on the functional perspective, such as the technology and usability. But the experiential perspective of the device is usually overlooked. So our work asks the question, what if we can use ingestible sensors for play? So when we come up with this idea, we believe playing with ingestible sensors have several benefits. For example, it can make the user experience of ingestible sensors more engaging and help us understand the full potential of the sensor can afford in interactions. And also because of the intimacy between the human body and ingestible sensors, it can provide an opportunity to help us experience our body as play. So as we noted, there isn't much research projects around exploring the experiential perspective of ingestible sensors, but there do have some artworks around that. For example, Stella developed a system called Stomach Sculpture. He developed an ingestible sensor containing a camera and a speaker, and he inserted the device into his body. The audience can see the images of his gastrointestines. So this work aims at challenging the traditional of human body by turning the internal body into a public space for exhibiting sculptures. Another example is called Audio Peel. This peel allows players to experience the music beat from the inside. And another example is called Glasgow, a mobile game developed by us last year. So it is a two-player mobile game where players can play against with each other by completing a variety of game tasks, and each task requires a player to change their body temperature to a certain degree, and the temperature is measured by an ingestible sensor. So all of these projects highlight an opportunity of exploring the experiential perspective of ingestible sensors. So this performs the basis of our work HeatCraft. But how can we design HeatCraft? We choose the first-person perspective in our design process, which means we place the user's lived experience at the center of the design process. So compared to the third-person perspective, which treats the body as an object, we believe the first-person perspective can emphasize the physical and bodily perspective in interactions and offers new angles for design. And also, when designing for experiencing body as play, this perspective is often being adopted. So keeping this in mind, we chose localized sensation as our feedback, because localized sensations mainly occur through touch, pain, perception, kinesthetic sensation, and temperature perception. So this kind of localized sensation can support the user's lived body experience and can increase our body awareness. And among all the localized sensations, we chose the heat sensation in our project, because there are a lot of projects using heat sensations as feedback in interactions, and this work suggests that heat is subtle and does not require the user's full attention, and therefore it can support always available interactions. Moreover, the heat with different intensity can evoke the user's emotional response. So this is why we designed HeatCraft, and to understand the associated experience, we conducted a user study with 8 pairs of friends. So the 2 players in each pair committed that they would spend at least 3 hours during the play session. And after we set up everything at the lab, they returned to their daily routine and experienced the system in the real-world setting. And after the play session, we conducted semi-structured interviews and used thematic analysis to understand their interview data. Based on this, we derived 3 design themes and 8 strategies. And because of the time limitation, I will only present 3 design themes and 3 strategies here. And if you're interested in others, please refer to our paper. So the first theme is the integration of body and technology. And this theme highlights that in the intimacy between the human body and HeatCraft system can influence the player's bodily experiences. For example, the players reported that they periodically thought about the presence of the sensor inside the body. And this can, because they don't know the exact location of the sensor, so they kind of imagine where the sensor was and how the sensor was traveling through their body. And this can facilitate the activity very similar to the body scanning in meditations. And this activity further increased their body awareness. And also some players reported that they think HeatCraft acted as their partners and reminding them their body temperature changed at any time. And because of the intimacy between their body and the system, they think the system extends their capabilities. But how can we design for this integration? We propose a strategy. We can design for a partnership between the human body and the ingestible system. So in HeatCraft, we achieve this by designing an active feedback. So what do we mean by active? Let me give you an example. Like our participants said, with a mobile app showing your bodily change, you need to take out of your phone from the pocket and tap the screen and to see the numbers. So it is passively waiting for your instructions. But with HeatCraft, the heat is always there and reminding you of your body temperature change at any time. And because it is subtle and does not require full attention, so it can be always available. So therefore, based on this, we recommend designers to consider other eyes-free feedback to facilitate implicit interactions with ingestible system, which does not the explicit awareness or a very direct attention to the system. And the next theme is the integration of internal body and outside world. So this thing means with HeatCraft, players become more aware of the interplay between their body and the surrounding environment. So this interplay can actually be revealed by the internal body change. For example, when the players feel their body temperature change while the heat sensation, they kind of reflected on the reason causing their body temperature change. And this change can be caused by daily activities, such as your eating, drinking, and exercising. And also it can be the outside world, for example, the room temperature change. So this can indicate the interplay between your body and the surrounding environment. And this awareness can make you be more knowledgeable about how your body and the surrounding act upon each other, which further increase your health consciousness. because you know better how to be attuned to your body and your environment. And so based on this, we suggest designers to consider the environment perspective in ingestible system. For example, we can add other environmental sensors like temperature sensor or humidity sensor to help players engage with the surroundings. So the last theme is about integration of play and life. So we asked the participants what they did during the play session, and based on this, we found that it facilitated spontaneous play, and players experienced a lot of kinds of playful experience. So here are 6 examples. The first one is thrill. When players are about to swallow the sensor, some people might feel nervous. So this can facilitate a playful experience of thrill. And when they well about which attach a lot of electronics in public space, they might enjoy the experience of subversion. And when they want to understand how to change the body temperature, they try different activities, which facilitate the exploration playful experience. And when they finally figure out the strategy to change their body temperature, they enjoy the discovery experience. And when they play with their co-players, and when they share the story with their friends, they enjoyed the fellowship experience, and also the feedback can help them enjoy the sensory experience. And also, HeatCraft can facilitate ubiquitous play. Like this is a quote of players. They said, "The system turns our daily lives to potential game actions and turns all the objects around me to game resources. For example, I can eat my food on my table to change my body temperature." So this system can help integrate the player's life and play. And to design for this integration, we suggest designers to design always available interactive systems, because ingestible sensors is a ubiquitous device. It is always inside the human body. So designers can consider designing the other parts of the system to be towards always available. So these are the strategies. And in summary, our work is about designing playful experience around ingestible sensors while localized sensations. And we believe this might contribute to the integration of play and life. And also the understanding of this work can also benefit the design of other playful bodily integrated systems. And the message I want you to take home is that the internal body can be a resource for play. Thanks for listening.